The story you are about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed. Only the names have been changed. Here, only the names have been changed. The story you are about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed.
This is Mother Sweet. My name is LASHAUN Williams. I'm here with LASHAUN Allen, and she's going to tell us the story of her son, MARC SABIAN Allen. So please tell us about the day that you lost your son.
I was in the house practically all day. Towards the evening, Mark and I went over to my cousin's house. I asked him to go with me over my cousin's house because she had little, she sold like cleaning products. So we rode over there. On the way, we were talking about him going to college. His biggest thing was, Mom, I don't want to go to college. I don't want to go to college. I was like, well, just try to give me 2 years. Give me 2 years. Just think about it. We've been talking so good. He was like, oh, Mom, all right, I'm going to try to do 2. So we got over to my cousin's house, bought the stuff. So he was like, Mom, I need some lotion. I was like, okay, we'll give you some lotion. My cousin was like, here, take the lotion. She was like, so I was like, how much is it? She was like, don't worry about it. You ain't got to pay me for it. So he was like, yeah, Mom, when we get home, you got to put it in your room. My brothers, they want my lotion, they use my lotion and everything. I was like, oh, okay. So on the way home, we talked about, I got on the subject about school again, about college, asking him what he wanted to do. He was like, oh, Mom, really? I was like, I just want you to be confident in what you do and the things that you want to do in life, I'm like, time is of the essence. You're getting older. You can't keep waiting on it. So we talked about it. We got home and came in the house, and I was listening to some music and looking at TV. And he went in the room, and he left out. He's like, Mom, I'm going out. I'm going downstairs for a little while. I was like, okay. So then one of my friends called, and I was going to go over her house. I got my little overnight bag, get ready to go. He walked me to the car. So I was like, well, I'll be back in the morning. And when I got in the car, she called me, and I was like, well, I don't really feel like coming. It was just like something was tugging at me. And I was like, I don't feel like going. So I called him back. I was like, Mark, you got to come back and open the door for me, because I gave him my house key because Andre had his key. So he was like, all right. They came back outside. We came in the house. So I was like, well, if I'm in here for the night. So I looked at TV some more, then I laid down. And he said, Mom, what you gonna do? I said, I'm laying down looking at TV. And I went lay down, and he stayed in the room. And he came in the room and said, Mom, I'm gonna leave. I'll go give me something to eat. And he left out, came back again, and he left out again. And I had dozed, by that time I had dozed off, and when I woke up, I could hear somebody knocking on the door. And it was the girl downstairs. She said that Mark had been shot. And I went running downstairs. I ain't grabbed no shoes, no nothing, left the door unlocked. And when I got downstairs, paramedics were working on him. And all I could tell them, I went straight into prayer, like, God, please just cover my child. And I'm like, God, I'm telling them, Mark, please just breathe. Baby, just breathe. And the paramedics had cut his shirt open, and I could see, the hole in his chest. And I just kept saying, baby, breathe. That's all I need you to do is breathe. And they like, paramedics kept saying, Mom, we need you to, move back, so we can work on him. And I'm just praying, God, please, please, please don't take my child. Please don't take my child. And I'm just going into just Jesus, please, please, please. And, the paramedics, like I said, they were working on him. And I heard one of the paramedics say, we got to get him to the hospital. And they put him on like some blankets and stuff and lifted him, because I guess they couldn't get the stretcher all the way in the house.
Okay.
And they took him out in the hall, and I'm in the hallway, and I'm just, begging him, just baby, breathe, just breathe. And I ran upstairs to grab my phone. I don't even know who I was calling. I think the first person I started calling was Andre, and every time I would call him, the phone was going to voicemail. And then I just started calling other people. I called my cousin, and I grabbed my shoes and stuff and went downstairs, and I asked the paramedic, like, where are you taking them? He was like, we're going to take them to PG. And I'm still, telling them, breathe, baby, just breathe. And like, Mom, just, meet us there.
So tell us about Mark. Who was he?
Mark was a different, he was a different kid. Mark didn't play with toys. He didn't like to play with toys. He liked movies, TV, he did computer stuff. He learned how to computer early and maneuver through the computer. And I used to be like, how did you do that? How did you? He's like, Mom, everybody knows how to do that. He was like, when he was young, we would go out and buy all these toys, and he'd look at it like, I'm not playing with that. We had one year, we spent all this money on toys for Christmas, and he may have played with the toys the first day because he opened everything and saw it, and it was like real cute for him. And after that, we ended up giving stuff away because he would not play with the toys. So we ended up buying him like educational stuff. Mark had a learning disability, which he didn't initially pay attention to, but he would get like really, really frustrated with the way he learned different things or how he learned. And he, it was like he just felt like, I'm gonna overcome this no matter what. He wanted to be able to help other kids in the classroom, so he would finish his work first. And he'd be like, I'm bored sitting in the classroom. And when other people get to the point where they can't do it and I get up, I get in trouble. And he said a lot of times the teacher, because the teachers would call and be like, Mom, just keep getting up, walking around the classroom. And when he get home, I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, Mom, they don't know, so I'm helping them. I'm like, oh my God. So once the teacher saw what he started doing, and he started this like early in elementary school, where he would get up and just start helping the kids in the classroom, and follow them up through high school, where he just would help the other kids that were in the classrooms, where he felt like, I'm a little bit more advanced than they are, so I'll help them because I'm progressing. And not to say that he was smarter, it's just that, and I had to explain to him that, everybody learns different. He didn't want to ride the school bus because he felt like the school bus was for retarded kids. He was like, Mom, people gonna think I'm retarded. And I was like, no, you just learn different. Yeah. It's not about you being retarded. You learn different, and you learn at a different pace. Everybody has their own pace. So once he got that in his head and learned that, he was excellent. He stayed on the honor roll because it became a thing where he was proud of what he was doing. So that's where it came in, where he wanted to continue to help the kids in the classroom. So that made me real happy. Yeah.
So did Mark have like a favorite saying?
savage. Savage. Everything was savage. He used to talk about his brothers being savage. Mama, my brothers, they just savages. I said, where you get that word from? And he was like, Mom, they are. He was like, Mom, you gotta see them. They just savages. I was like, they your brothers, I see them. He was like, Mom, they be eating up everything. I said, oh my God, they be eating. He was like, Mom, they be eating up my cake. That's why you put my cake in your room. I said, you can't keep putting the cake in the room, boy. He go, Mom, they just be eating up everything. So at a certain point, that just was all he would say was everything was just savage to him. Yeah, he was a piece of work.
So what was Mark's favorite food?
Pizza. He loved pepperoni pizza. He would go when the Little Caesars was across the street. He would go and get pizza when they first put it around here. He knew how much a whole pizza cost plus tax. Okay. He would ask me all the way down to the cents. Mom, can I get $5.30? I was like, what is $5.30 for? I'm going to get me a pizza. It's like, but the pizza's $5 more than 30 cents for the tax. You got to pay for the tax. I was like, oh my God. He would go get his pizza. He would sit and eat his pizza, but he wouldn't eat the whole pizza. He'd save part of it. And then sometimes he would get one, like if he first came home from school, then he'd go back and get another one for dinner. And then I'm like, boy, you eating all that dang pizza. And he'd be like, Mom, I don't want nothing else. Like, you can't keep eating pizza every day. So he learned to start eating other stuff, but he would like shells and cheese. But he would, when you fix shells and cheese, he wanted either chicken tenders or fish. That was it. All that other stuff he was not eating. You know, he was not the type of child to eat all different kinds of foods. And he was like, I'm not gonna eat that. And it would sit in there because he wasn't gonna eat it. Okay. If he went in the refrigerator and it was something that he didn't like, he would say there was no food in it. So he was just definitely the favorite was pizza.
Got it. What about movies? Do you have a favorite movie?
I wouldn't say a favorite movie. He liked all different kinds of movies, but he had a favorite TV show, Criminal Minds.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. He would look at it, he would binge watch Criminal Minds, and he used to tell me all the time, Mom, you gotta look at me, you gotta look at me. I'm like, I don't know the first thing about it. I don't even know how to get into that. Like, Mom, it's so good. I would come home from work, he's sitting here looking at Criminal Minds. I'm like, boy, you don't look at nothing else. Oh, this is my show. This is my show. So he would look at that every day, even on the weekends. He would just sit and watch it all day, unless he found him something, you know, another movie. But as far as a favorite movie, I don't remember him talking about one specific movie. Got it. Yeah.
Okay. So, if you could give advice to other mothers who have lost children, what would you say to them?
Keep your relationship with God. Always surround yourself with love. Give love unconditionally. Even when you go to that deep, dark place, pray and ask God to help you, because sometimes you feel like you at your wit's end when you just don't know which way to go, and the only way you're going to be able to overcome the grief, the hurt, the heartache is through prayer. It's the one thing that keeps me going, where I can sit and have my conversation with God, and just, it gives me some comfort. And I can think about, you know, the way my son left, but I can also think about the person that he was, the joy he brought to me and my other sons. Just stay in prayer. Always just keep yourself in prayer, because, you know, a lot of people don't have relationships with God, and sometimes we, as young people in our I ain't even gonna say background, just in everyday life, you don't get that where, you know, you're brought up in the church or brought up to even know how to pray. So if you don't know how to pray, it's easy as just sitting and have a conversation with calling on the Lord. That's it. That's all you can do. At this day and time, just keep calling on the Lord.
So let me ask you this, what kind of support do you think like the county can give to like mothers who have lost children? What could they do better, in your opinion?
The support, to me, they could actually, once it happens, reach out to that mother. Reach out to that mother and ask, what can we do? How can we better help? Because if you don't have a person in your corner that gives you that go-to person, you'll never know. It's so many different resources out there for us, but again, if you don't have someone that can point you in the right direction, you can go and knock on doors at the county offices, and they'll close that door. But until you start giving names, hey, I was told to reach out to this person, I was told to reach out to that person. The stigma is, it's nothing, or we don't have anything, we don't have the resources to help you. But until we as moms going through this step up, stand up and say, we need help. We can't do it alone. We can't, we have each other, but if the government doesn't say, we have to do something to help these mothers get through this, other than sitting these people in jail for 10, 15 years, but while they're in jail, get them some help. Because it's obviously something wrong with the individual that feels like it's okay to take another person's life. So at a certain point, to me, that's where it comes in, where the government needs to step in and help. I ended up doing grief therapy, which helps me, you know, so sometimes growing up, you never get that. You know, we go through life, we've lost so many people in our lives, and we never get that part when we get the grief counseling to understand why we're grieving, how to grieve, and how to cope with the grief.
Yes.
So at a certain point, that has to be brought into the grief, the dealing with the everyday life after this type of, you know, not just a tragedy, but just everyday living, you know, because what happens most of the time, I see people just push it to the side, okay, you know, it's gonna, you know, wear off at a certain point. It's not, you never stop aching for your child, whether it was, you know, natural causes or a tragedy, you just never stop aching for your child. So, you know, again, I would just always press, just pray and look to God.
If you could have one more conversation with Mark, what would you say to him?
I'm telling him I love him, and come on, let's go to the grocery store, which what he hated. I don't want to go to the grocery store. You take too long in the grocery store. So I would definitely, we would probably be out somewhere at the grocery store, and he grabbing everything he wanted, lemon cake and the shells and cheese that he liked. So we would be at the grocery store having a good time right about now. Yeah.
I'm my oldest brother, Andre Allen.
So Andre, how did you process losing your younger brother?
Well, we still haven't even processed it. I still look over his bed sometimes, just wishing that thing he was right there. So, the night that it happened, said to each other was, I love you. I was in bed the whole day with a stomach ache. I didn't get out of bed the whole day. I didn't eat nothing. I just had a stomach ache the whole day. For some reason, a female that called me and invited me over her house didn't want to go nowhere. I just got up and left out. I asked him, was he all right? Do we need him? Nah, bro, I'm good. I just got some. He didn't even have to leave out to get nothing. That's the whole thing with everybody. Everybody going. He had just ate. He walked to the car out with 120. So he did so. He got what happened to him. He was supposed to be in the house. So at the end of the day, it happened because he was being a good friend to my name.
What advice would you give to other young men who have lost brothers?
Keep close to you. Keep close to you. That's all I can say. I kept him close. I didn't keep him close enough. As much as I tried, we can never shadow our siblings the way we want to. We gotta let them be them. But just like I said, the last word we said to each other was, "I love you," and you knew that.